Starting in 5. And we're live. Greetings and salutations. I'm Munthoff Neverborn, the Abyss that Slumbers, and you are listening to Eldritch Rants. We're just going straight into the format because, again, we've got a late start today. Sorry about that. That's on my end. We're going to jump straight into the topics here. And by the way, thank you for the picture, Keck. Yep, that's Bonaventure magic. That's what you're seeing right there from the high school Bonaventure. I hope you enjoy your magical time there. Holy crap. I know you two can't see the picture, but trust me, it's priceless. At any rate, we're going to go right into the bridge unless you two wanted to bring up something first. By the way, we've got, of course, it's Farty and Jacob. By the way, thanks for joining us, Jacob. We appreciate it.
No, welcome. I don't do this so often, so.
Anything Farty before we get into the bridge?
No, not really.
Well, for those of you who don't know, there was a bridge collapse in Florida. Bridge collapse's victim's uncle is raging at incompetence. Hold on a second.
And he's got every bloody right to as well.
Yeah.
Disturbingly.
Just launch into it.
Yep. Okay. Right. Well, disturbingly, right. Nothing really disturbs me all that much, but this fucking horrifies me from what I've seen. As soon as I heard about it, I watched them putting it into place, and that was the first thing that fucking struck out at me was the amount of material that they used on that bridge, and the way that they moved it into place with those crawlers. Like they were actually moved out of place. They actually had to move one of the crawlers into another spot to move the center of balance into the center more and have more overhang on one end. And this actually was the end that failed. When they move this kind of a thing, you're not allowed to twist it. So concrete is its strongest when you compress it. Basically, you put something on top of it and you're pushing down on it. You're crushing it. It doesn't like to bend, flex, twist, or do anything else other than get crushed. Now, when you do something like this and you move it in a fashion like that, there is every chance that you are going to twist it or move it or bend it in some form or fashion that's going to fuck it up. That's generally the reason why we don't build these types of bridges like this at all. And when they did move it, I seen the crawlers move independently of one another. And yeah, there's your first failure there. There's already been reports of stress cracks already in the thing before they did that stress test that broke it. Now, the deck itself, I can only describe the deck itself as being a demolition experienced individual as having enough or more than enough material to be removed for me to take it out with a very small explosive charge. It almost looked like it was rigged for demolition before it had even been built. Now, another few things that they hadn't done is they hadn't even erected the pole for all the suspension shit. And generally, the way you do this is you build your suspension pole first, and then you build the deck out from that, suspending it at its proper intersections. You don't put something like this in one big chunk because it's too flimsy for a start.
Oh, before you go any further, there's something I want to share with you, which I think will enlighten you. This $14.2 million project was supposed to take advantage of a faster, cheaper, and safer method of bridge building promoted by the university.
Yes.
This is like social justice warrior engineering as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it's the way that they did it, which is the absolute complete lack of fucking any sort of form of safety or anything like that. You don't put people under a suspended load at all. Like that bridge in that configuration, when it fell, like shit. Anywhere else in the world, occupational health and safety would have your guts for garters if you even attempted this. Fucking, I don't even know why they even tried even thinking about this. Like super advanced technological, bullshit. I could tell you that was going to fucking fail before they'd even put it in. Like I was saying, the deck was too thin. There was fuck all material in it. And then when they'd put it out and they'd sat it on its supports, and then they took the crawlers away, they then stress tested it unsupported in its unsupported configuration. Now, with that, what they reckon the failure that's caused the actual collapse itself was these tensioning cables. They tried to tension up one of the cables, and what's happened there is it failed to tense up completely. It just kept on pulling and pulling and pulling until at one point it just snapped. And that snapping basically caused one of the supports on the deck to basically shatter. And once that happened, that's enough shock to go through the entire system, and it's a pre-stressed concrete structure, so it just popped, just went bang pop, and yeah, you simply just don't do that shit. This is exactly the reason why you don't put people under it. You don't build bridges like that for a start. You don't move concrete like that. You don't fucking try and tense shit up. There's reasons why we don't do this. And that basically, it almost looks to me, and I'd be fucking horrified even more if I find this out, that the university have just gone, oh, we're unis, we know what we're doing, we can just, yep, and it just ignored everything else in the world. Now, here's an even worse aspect of it, right?
Go on.
The reason why this building, this bridge was being built in the first place is because a uni student got killed crossing the road about 50 yards down at a set of lights. There's already a pedestrian crossing and all that shit there. So they've now killed a whole bunch of people because some uni student couldn't cross the road effectively.
Here's the part that kills me, because we have a bridge like this. We have I mean, it's not 6 lanes of traffic, it's only 4, but it does have to also partially cross a swamp. So this bridge is pretty long. It's for pedestrians, and there's no concrete on it.
No.
It's metal. The whole thing from stem to stern is a big metal thing. In fact, when you walk across it, you can look through the grates down at the road.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you put concrete on it? Put a plastic tarp if you're worried about things from falling through. Come on.
No. You can make these bridges out of concrete. There is a very set, specific way you do it. You build the main support pole first, and then you build the deck out from the pole, suspending it as you go. You don't make it all one big deck and then fucking just plonk it into place like they did. Yeah.
I'm going to call it here. I have no proof of this, but I'm going to call it here because we haven't gotten enough information. But one, this $14.2 million was spent because of one snowflake who couldn't figure out how to cross a road.
Basically.
Crap.
Yeah, and 2, I'm willing to bet the university handed it over to some special snowflake diversity hire, whatever, who said, I'm going to ignore all of the patriarchy and and the colonialism and that ever developed, because everything under colonialism and patriarchy is wrong, and we're going to do this right. And that's why this crazy faster, cheaper, safer method of bridge building was created.
I'd put it to you like this more, that it'd be more of a point that the management of the school went, we can do this and showcase our star student who's probably got his name on the architecture thing. We'll showcase all of our good works and all of our bloody greatness and all this kind of stuff. And then when the bridge collapses, shit, we're not that great after all.
I don't know. Any thoughts, Jacob?
Not really. Well, hold on. There is something else. Thinking came out that they were warned about this thing. They're finished.
Oh yeah, 2 hours before the collapse, they were talking about the cracking issue. Now, there's no proof the cracking issue had anything to do with it, but there's also no proof the cracking did not compromise the structural integrity. So let's wait until we get more information. But man, this is just dumb.
I'll tell you right now that cracking did compromise it and all this kind of stuff, and the way it was built, everything was done wrong. Every last thing was done wrong with this. That's how bad it was. There wasn't a single thing done right.
Oh, I love this line. This was designed to support itself. That was the beauty of the design. You didn't need temporary supports. It saves money. It's safer if you how are removing supports safer? God.
I could have fucking told them that. I could have told them that. That thing looks like I could throw a grenade on it and drop it.
There's this thing called gravity and physics, and it doesn't care about your patriarchy. So I'm sorry I'm venting about that, but it's been an issue I've been dealing with this past week myself, of people ignoring reality for their delusions. So maybe I'm jumping conclusions here, but no. By the moment I saw it promoted by the university, I immediately assumed this is some sort of diversity hire bullshit. Anyway, moving on, unless you have something else to say.
Well, there was a loud whipping sound that they'd heard a little while beforehand, and when you do have a look at the bridge collapse, you'll see there's this sort of it's a cable coming out of the top of the rubble with this funny little blue cylinder on it, or a big blue cylinder. And that's an Enerpac spreader, and that's what they were doing to tension up the cables or the posts or whatever they were trying to do. That's the thing that broke it. That's the pole that came loose. That's the one that snapped. That's the one that shattered that support, and that's where where the bridge actually snapped off the canal side of the road.
If only one cable has to go for your bridge to collapse, it was a shitty bridge.
Yep. No shit.
Any rate, moving on here. Everybody's heard about it, but we're getting around to it finally. Laura Southern was banned from Britain under the Schedule 7 terrorist max because of alleged racism. You know what the racism was?
She was going to show up fucking...
Nope.
I can't remember what she was. No.
Jacob, you know?
Oh, crap.
She wrote down on a pamphlet, Allah is gay.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's...
Yeah.
No. That's the racism. That's the racism. Allah is gay is racism. Where? What? Okay, on top of one, Allah is an omnipotent being. Therefore, he is all things and everywhere. So he can be gay and straight at the same time. He's omnipotent. He can do that. So is Allah gay? Yeah. He's also straight. He's bi. He's neither. He's everything. He's a fucking God. He can be gay if he wants to be gay. Suck it up. There's nothing wrong with saying Allah's gay. I know I just pissed off every Muslim who hears this, but yeah, and he can fuck himself and not fuck himself at the same time. That's how omnipotence rolls. That said, by the way, I'm a deities rights activist. I support oppressed deities everywhere. That said, yeah. The fact that Allah is gay is, the racist part is the part that's boggling me. Like, out of all of this craziness, out of all of the, because clearly she's not being banned because of racism. She's being banned because somebody somewhere said, ban that bitch. That's why she's being banned.
I'm pretty sure she hasn't been banned. She just got turned back at the gates.
No, she can't enter the country. She cannot enter the country right now.
Well, if she reckons she's going to be successful in suing the British government over this, she's got another thing coming, because the British customs and immigration people, they actually have the power to turn you back at the gate if they simply don't like the look of you.
Oh yeah, no. See, that's the part that kills me though. If they just didn't like her, they should have just sent her away. There was no need to go through any of the rest of this justification. I listened to her story. They locked her up for hours just to try to find something to hang on her to get rid of her. Yeah. And I'm like, why do you need that?
But they don't even need to do that anyway, because like the general basic bog standard bullshit excuse for kicking someone out of the country is that they just say, well, we don't believe your story for coming here, and we think you're coming here to stay permanently, so we're not going to allow you into the country. And there's no ifs or buts. You can't argue that. That's too bad, so sad. Stiff fucking shit. Even if you got every evidence under the sun to disprove that, nah, stiff shit. They think it. You're off.
For the record, before you go any further, for the record, I agree with every country's right to do that. I agree with every country's right to do that. I don't agree with them doing it, but I agree they should have the right to say, I don't like the look of you, go. Okay? Because I'd rather you not come in than come in if I think there's a problem. Okay, but please continue. I just wanted to get that out right now.
Yeah, so I don't know why they bothered trying to get evidence or anything like that, because they could just simply say, look, well, just by the look of you and what you've got on you and all this, I believe you're going to be staying here for longer than your visa. Go away.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the UK is not the United States of America, so they don't really have to do anything with her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with that. I mean, I'm all for their right to do it. It's just the way they did it was dumb. I'd have more respect for them if they just came out and said, we don't like you, go away. The whole Allah is gay is racist. That is the part where I'm like going, huh? Where is the race in that? Allah is a okay. Let's say okay, you're attacking Islam. Let's just say that saying Islam is gay is an attack. You homophobes. UK is a bunch of homophobes. You homophobes. Okay, I just wanted to get that out there. I wanted to get my virtue signaling done. But okay, that said, let's say it's not a race. You know,
I'm betting Sarah, Lauren probably put her foot in her mouth too by announcing herself as a journalist or an independent journalist or something like that.
Gonzo journalist.
They would have gone, oh, right. So you're here to cause trouble then? Fuck off. See you later.
Oh, I mean...
Oh, but I'm a journalist. Oh, you're going to talk shit about us, are you? All right, well, we better find an excuse to fucking boot you out then.
I mean, I mean, this is to be expected, but seriously, it's really bad optics. It just looks horrible. And it's such a stupid excuse. You know, I would have gone with, we thought she was here to cause trouble, and we're not letting her in because she's going to cause trouble. We don't need an excuse. Bye. Coming here is not
now she's causing trouble. And now she's causing a problem. They were right the first time.
Any thoughts before we move on?
Yeah, that's why I say that. Yeah, go, Jacob. Go.
I was going to say that it's not going to be the UK, Canada, or France who actually recognizes Islam as a race sometime soon. One of those three.
You know, that's a weird thing to say, but you want to know something? It would not surprise me. Like it would literally not surprise me if like it started showing up on, you know, like we get a survey here in America every 10 years. It's the Great Census that they do every 10 years. And they have a list of every possible race on there. And if Islam showed up as a race, I don't know where I'm going to go, but I can't stay here anymore. I don't think it's going to happen here, but I can see that happening in Canada. I can. Canada has gotten pretty strange. Anyway, anything else?
We had a census a couple of years ago, and it got hacked to shit, so I didn't even bother with it. And I was waiting for him to come and give me shit about not doing the census, and I was going to say to him simply, I identify as a Xantrodi battle cruiser, and I was actually off planet at that point doing something else, so I couldn't have legally filled out the census. Sorry about that. But I am a
Xantrodi.
Jedi.
Wow, we're going all the way back to Robotech, huh?
Oh, fuck, you knew that reference. Yeah. All right.
I got a head full of useless trivia, man. I got a head full of useless trivia.
Well, I used to be a Jedi on the census, but then they said that you couldn't use Jedi as a religion, so fuck them. I'm a Xantrodi battle cruiser.
Anything else before moving on to the next topic?
No.
16 immigrants die as smuggling boat sinks in the Aegean Sea. It must be Saturday, I guess, because Tuesday. Yeah, must be Tuesday.
Yeah, well, we did try and tell them that was going to happen. We had Sarah Pants Down Bum go over there and say, to start spruiking for people who would take them off us and all this kind of stuff. But the instant we stopped taking the boats in Australia, the next day they were crossing the Mediterranean, and the instant they started doing that, they were throwing kids overboard, there were people drowning, boats were being scuttled within eyesight of foreign coast guards, so they'd had an obligation to go and pick them up. And this happens on a daily basis. And we're just sitting here going, we fucking tried to tell you, but no. And the only way they're going to get around this is if they lock their borders off too, which they're not going to do very soon. So this is going to continue.
Unfortunately, any comments, Jacob? Jacob? Oh, well. We lost Jacob. Anyway. I think this is part of the bigger problem. I mean, we're talking about 4,000 people already arrived in Greece this year. So that's just one border that they've been coming across here.
Yeah.
The problem is that this is just going to increase the migrant crisis in Europe. And as it increases, you're going to get more and more people going, hey, do something. And the government in question says, nope, nothing to do. Everything's fine. And then you're going to have an increasing number of somebody in the background going, you want water? Yes, we can bring you water. We have no problem with the water. The trains will run on time. Just bring us to power. I mean, it's what happens if you don't let the moderates in your country, when the moderates are telling you, hey, something's fucked up, and you ignore them, the radicals who say, I will fix everything, show up. So, any thoughts before we move? No, any thoughts before we move on?
You go, Jacob.
Anything, or just it's Tuesday?
Nah.
Gotcha. Moving on. You can't make this one up. Jeff Flake from, I believe, Snowflake, Montana, is going to be a primary challenge against Donald Trump in 2020 election for the Republican nomination.
He sounds a bit flaky to me.
You want to be President Flake from Snowflake, Montana. Oh my God. Even if this guy was the most conservative ever, even if this guy took every red pill on the planet, okay, there is nobody who's going to take this guy seriously just because of his stupid name. And Donald Trump's going to have an entire week where he's going, what stupid nickname do I give this guy because he's already Jeff Flake?
I know what he would be saying if the guy's name was Flack. If they just dropped the E off his name, you could go, his name is Mr. Flack, he has a dirty crack, his brother's name is BJ, it stands for Bum Jack.
Oh, this guy, I mean, it's just, I mean, it's, what the hell is Senator Jeff Flake thinking? I mean, seriously. He might pull his own home state. That's about it.
So Flake from Snowflake.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. It's Snowflake, Arizona, not Snowflake, Montana. I got the states mixed up.
Okay, a Flake from Snowflake. I think he's been doing a bit too much snow.
I think that somebody somewhere promised him a boatload of money. Every mainstream media outlet on the planet says, yes, we will back you if you just do this. And I don't think they realize that if he runs against Trump, it's only going to help Trump. Because this smells like the swamp. This smells like neocon, rhino Republicans trying to put things back the old way. This doesn't, I mean, I don't even know what he's thinking. But maybe he's just been promised a shitload of money and he's doing it for that reason. Any thoughts?
I want to. Yeah, go, Drake.
Oh, no, I'm saying probably.
Well, I want to know who's these idiots that are paying these morons to go and do this, who've got enough money to just frivolously waste it, because they can give me a shit ton of money and I'll sit on my ass and do nothing and waste it on them for them quite easily.
It's big. Everybody who's wasting this money, and I've been doing the research on this, seems to be related to part of, or actually some sort of large business that gets a lot of corporate welfare handouts. Either they pay no taxes or they actually get subsidies. And if you're not paying taxes to the government, you're a business, or you get tons of government subsidies, you hate Trump, and that you will spend any amount of money to end him, because they literally cannot think of how they will survive if there was an actual free market. If there was an actual free market, Google's dead. I didn't know this, but Alphabet, the company that owns Google, is basically powered by the federal government. They're all government subsidies. They pay no taxes.
Yeah, we're about to get Google into heaps of shit out here because we got fed up with them using us as a tax haven. So yeah, we're about to go a bunch of foreign companies for using us like that.
If the free market was actually enforced, there'd be no Google. They'd be dead tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
And unfortunately, so would YouTube, which I like, even though run by a bunch of idiots, but well.
YouTube's losing every day, man. They have to be on some subsidy for some sort to keep going.
Oh, yeah.
And as long as you're getting free money, well, then you can continue to do whatever crazy ideological bullshit you have with no consequences to your actions, because it doesn't matter how many people flee your platform. you know, you're still getting money from the government, but that's why they hate Donald Trump, because there's got to come a point where he's going to go, hey, we're giving free money to who? No, they're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Why do they need money from us?
On a slightly side note on this, I just saw an interview with Hilarious, where they asked her about Ivanka Trump's mentioning that she wants to be the first female president, and the sour grapes. So what do you think about Ivanka being president? It won't happen. It's not going to happen. It won't happen. It's not going to happen. Can't happen. Won't happen. If they didn't want me, they don't want a female. So that's it. No more females. No.
Do you remember?
Sour grapes to hell.
Who saw the? I wish I could figure out how to do the video properly. Who saw Hillary Clinton falling down the stairs in India?
Oh.
Oh no,
Classic.
we really got to find the one where she face plants at the top of the stairs of Air Force One, because you see her walk up, and you see her start to disappear as she's walking into the plane. Then you just see her fall face first, and a couple little feet just go. Just goes beep, beep.
She was going to kill us all. That crazy old senile bitch was going to start World War III and kill everybody on this planet. We dodged such a bullet. Holy crap.
I now know how she was going to do it too. She was going to provoke it all through that Russian hacking bullshit. She was going to push that, and then start shit in Syria, and then,
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, in an alternate timeline, she got elected, and right now, we aren't talking because we're probably dead or wandering a radioactive wasteland wearing hockey equipment and following the humongous. Any rate,
That or in prison.
speaking of the humongous, moving on to Merkel defends Germany's trade surplus as U.S. trade war looms. Now, I've been trying to do some research on this, and I'm not quite sure on the facts here, but it seems like Germany is basically financially raping the rest of the EU.
Yeah, well, this is something I mentioned a bit earlier with the European Union and what Germany was trying to do. See, they wanted a unified European government run by Germany, with a unified European economy run by Germany, with a unified European army run by Germany. This included the UK as well. So the British Army and all that is included in this. The British Parliament's included in this, and they were going to take the powers away from the Queen, what little power she had left, and do that. And basically, that's just World War II without firing a shot. So
The Fourth Reich.
Yep, and it did look like that fucking Merkel just wanted to be Hitler without the stigma. So it wouldn't surprise me with that type of dodgy deal that she is ass raping fucking the rest of Europe.
Yeah, I mean, this is just one more nail in the coffin as far as I'm concerned, because the more that I've looked into it, it's like I would be surprised if there was still a EU in 20 years. Like, financially speaking, I don't know how it can survive. Unless some miracle occurs, they are everything except for Germany is hemorrhaging money.
Some of those countries are...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, hey, that we have NATO still around. That's not doing much. So.
Yeah, that's now mainly a toothless tiger, that, because, well, mainly it doesn't have an actual target anymore. Its whole purpose was supposed to be for nuclear war, and we've only ever used them once, and that was in a conventional war in the Balkans. But, like with all the European Union falling apart and all this, and countries wanting to go do their own thing and not sort of worry about being unified against Russia anymore, you will have people dropping out of that treaty organization.
I don't think we need it. I'm to be honest, I'm not entirely certain what's going on with Russia. Maybe we do, maybe we don't know, but
yeah, we still do need NATO for the simple reason that the United Nations and their peacekeeping forces are absolutely fucking useless, and at least NATO is allowed to fire around sometimes.
Okay, I'll give you that.
That's barely.
Yeah.
That's if they ever get used.
Any rate, anything on? Because apparently Merkel's like, America doing protective trade deals is bad. You are literally ass raping the rest of your continent. No, that's fine. That's just because of fluctuating oil prices and exchange rates. Why would exchange rates, when the entire continent is on the EU, the euro, would exchange? How would exchange rates benefit just Germany? Huh? I don't. I'm not seeing this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It just smells of bullshit. But moving on.
Yeah, when you have a look at Greece and Spain, right? They're broke and they've been given bailouts and they still have they've reneged on the bailouts and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of aspect does bring the euro down on a global scale because, well, if one country's doing a dodgy with the euro, well, then that affects everybody else. That's why everyone was pissed off at Greece for doing it because every time they reneged on the deal, it dropped the euro. So yeah, having a unified government controlled by Germany in that respect would probably be a good idea, but you can't stop the Greeks from being lazy.
Good point. Good point. Any rate, I thought this one was weird. Plummeting temperatures could send the world into a mini ice age in 2030 and could override global warming, claim mathematicians.
Global that thing they were saying that global warming.
Well, yeah.
No.
Where do you get ice from warm?
Well, actually, it's called the Maunder minimum. For those of you who have been paying attention to it, there's this weird dual cycle in the sun that involves sunspots. And when there's no sunspots, the sun puts out less heat. When there's less heat, we get an ice age. So apparently that's why we haven't been getting, the planet hasn't turned into a baking ball of sizzling desert because...
Would that also explain the repaired hole in the ozone layer that was never going to repair?
Yeah. But the ozone layer was repaired by the sun. I mean, come on. I'm sorry, but any prediction for global warming in less than 100 years is not accurate. Sorry. It just isn't.
It's the equivalent of the what is it called? The rapture. That's the equivalent of it.
Oh, it's the rapture. I like that.
I've got a mad business idea for fucking idiot fucking Christians, right? Yeah, that rapture shit, right? You just go around selling idiot Christians pet insurance and so that like you sell them a pet insurance package that when they piss off to the afterlife and if their dog doesn't go with them, well, don't worry, I'll look after it for you. I'll feed him and look after him and walk him. Just give me a subscription of $100 a week.
You could probably make some money at that, honestly. You probably could. I wouldn't go $100 a week though. I'd go, $2 a week, and I'll take care of your pet in the advent of the rapture because
they get discounts when they get more customers. But you see, they're paying forward into this. It's an insurance policy. They've got to pay up front. You see, and while they're paying me the $100 up front, until I get more people, then they'll get cheaper. But yeah, just $100 from about 3 people a week. Yeah, 300 quid. That'll do me for a bit. That'll keep me in beer.
Well, but as it turns out, every once in a while, this slight fluctuation in the sun's cycles, 2 waves exactly mirror each other on different hemispheres of the sun, and it usually pretty much cancels out all the sunspot activity, and then the Earth gets a little colder. Last time we had a mini ice age where I believe the River Thames froze over, we only dropped 1 degree. So it's possible, 2030 is going to be a cold year. I don't know. Honestly, don't care. Any thoughts before we move on?
That's what I said about 2012. Look what happened.
Oh, yeah. Actually, you know what the weird thing is? If you include for time zone differences to the exact hour of my birth, I was born 40 years, so I was exactly 40 years old to the hour at the moment the Earth was supposed to end, according to the Mayan calendar. Little bit of trivia out there. I really wanted to have a huge party, but I was broke. Actually, we'll end on. I'm going to end on Putin in Russia. I want to take care of some of these other things. Teacher apologizes for accidentally firing gun in classroom.
Oh crap! Yeah.
He brought his gun in. He was showing it off to the students. Fortunately, he had to point it at the ceiling and it went off because it was still loaded. One, why were there bullets in it if you knew you were taking it to school to show off?
Exactly.
Part of me wonders if this was a deliberately staged event. I know I'm that cynical, but there's a part of me wonders if this guy is actually some sort of closet liberal who brought in a gun just to accidentally shoot it off at the ceiling so that it could raise the issue of don't arm the teachers because we're all fucking idiots and we'll just accidentally kill students. I don't know. That's just my conspiracy theory.
Okay. You accidentally shoot the firearm in the classroom. Okay, so why did he have the firearm out? Why was he touching the trigger? Why was he dicking with the gun?
Yeah, he was showing it off to the students, but why was his finger anywhere near the trigger? Because guns don't just fire. 2, why was it loaded? I mean, but yeah, especially since this happened in Northern California. Really?
That explains a lot.
I hope this fuckwit did do this on purpose to try and prove a point, because all he's going to do is get charged with producing a firearm in public, producing a firearm in a no-firearm zone, firing said firearm in public, endangering people's lives, endangering the public, blah, 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 blah. So his little hippie fucking, I'm going to cause a problem just so we can highlight the problem. Yep, you just got yourself arrested, dumb cunt. No, like, he's just gone and shown himself that he should not be near a firearm. Not everybody else. Not everyone is a fuckwit like him. Like I said, first thing I said, why is he had his finger on the trigger? Why was he dicking with it? Why did he have it out? Fucking, see, responsible gun owners will say things like that. Dickheads like him will go around flashing the gun around and fucking waving it in people's faces and then wonder why he gets done for accidentally murdering somebody. That's like that silly bitch from last year that shot her idiot boyfriend with a fucking Desert Eagle.
Oh, crap.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Shoot me through the book. It'll take the blow. Dude, even if the bullet takes it 100%, the shock will probably crush your rib cage. Any rate, so important safety tip: never, ever, ever tell somebody to shoot you through a book. Through a book. Any rate, teen and man who got out of her and the man who got her out of her school were finally located in Mexico. Now I don't know if you guys have been following this from Pennsylvania. But basically, about 12 days ago, there was this young girl, 16-year-old Amy Wu, who vanished because there was a 45-year-old man who just looks totally like a pervert. He is the whitest pervert ever when you look at his picture. I mean, seriously, I'm just looking at this guy and going, you are a Democrat, you are a liberal, and you are a child molester.
Yeah, the Sheila's name you got wrong. Her last name's Yu.
Oh, Yu.
Y-O-U.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I did have a little look at this, and she's got a sister named Fook.
Okay.
The crap.
Okay. But, hey, I'm glad for a happy ending that they found her after 12 days, but...
Yeah, that's what I bet that bloke was wanting as well. Oh.
But part of me is also going, Jesus, I mean, it's... Why was he allowed to sign her out before previously? Okay, this is the first time that he signed her out of the school. The phrase is frequently signed her out. And nobody said, hey, that old creepy looking dude is signing out a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah. You see, like, when you hear stories like this and then the person asks an innocent question like, oh, and have you seen so-and-so, the parents, lately? Oh, how are they doing? And, you ask sort of questions like that to sort of, okay, is he really part of the family? And then also you'd go and mention it to the parents afterwards. Did you know this fella? Your uncle so-and-so? Oh, yeah. Well, oh, no. But yeah, if they've done it often, they never check this bloke, obviously. Fucking, they're in big shit too.
Now, I don't know what the details are. For all we know, the guy is the girl's father for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, probably.
But probably not if they went down to Mexico. So, but still, I'm glad, happy ending. But holy crap, this guy looks creepy as hell. Any thoughts before we move on? I'm sorry.
Yeah, look, logic would dictate, wouldn't it, that fucking, if it was the bloke's father, they would have said something along the lines of man reporting to be the kid's father.
Yeah, that's what I would think. But nah, this just looks like he's probably just some creepy old 45-year-old man who talked to this girl on the internet, convinced her that he loves her and that your life is so tortured and you're so oppressed. You are so oppressed. You're just oppressed all the time because you're a woman and you're oppressed. I will white knight for you down in Mexico, where I will tie you to the bed and bang you like a drum. But I didn't mention that part in the text. I'm sorry. Moving on to last
Yeah.
topic. The polls opened in Russia as Putin eyes fourth presidential term, where I believe his competitor, I don't know, what do you call him, his opposition, whatever, wasn't even allowed to run against him. So, being the only guy running for president, basically, yeah, I think he's pretty much going to win from the presidential vote turnout of over 60%. They do have a 60% turnout rate as opposed to America's, like, I believe 50% during normal and 25% in the midterms. Basically, 1 in 4 vote.
This just shoots down one conspiracy theory going around about that Russian spy at the moment, the one that died in London. They're saying that he must have known something about Putin winning this election and all this. Well, it's a one-horse race, and it's fucking so one-sided already. Killing this bloke's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're like, you could have come out and said, I have pictures of Putin murdering babies, and just like pictures of him just chopping up babies with a meat cleaver, like they're just on a conveyor belt and he's just chopping them up and scooping the parts into, into boxes that say, high grade meat for orphanages and old folks' homes. He could be doing that and he would still get elected in Russia, okay? Because
he could be standing there. He could be standing there, skull fucking a dead baby's skull, whilst fucking smoking a cigarette and giving beer to another baby, and he still get fucking elected.
Yeah, because one thing I do know because I know a couple of people from Russia, they love this guy. They legitimately love him. Like when people are saying, people who don't like him talk about the alternatives, they go, yeah, I hate Putin. Unfortunately, everybody else is even worse. And you're going,
well,
really?
Where
everybody else is far worse than Putin.
Yeah, no, look at where they've come from, right? They've come from absolute fucking poverty, right? Like, people were 6 months behind getting paid, right? There was there was food shortages, even to the stage where people were getting like a tiny little cube of bread to eat for a week, right? And they've gone from that, having absolutely friggin' nothing, standing in line for 15 hours, maybe, to not get anything to eat, to now they've got McDonald's and they can actually afford to buy McDonald's now. They've all got cars, they've all got jobs, they've all got money, they can all go travel. They can do all the things that they couldn't do during the Cold War, and they're happy as a pig in shit where things are right now. They don't particularly want it to change.
In some regards, I can't blame them, but there's one part of me though. Putin has done an amazing. If you look at his inner circle and there's like 2 rings around Putin. There's like a very concentrated inner circle. There's a ring around that ring, and then there's the rest of the government. So he's pretty isolated from everybody.
Yeah.
But he has done such a great job of eliminating anyone who is potentially a threat to him that there is nobody who could replace him.
Dictator for life.
Well, I mean, it's along the lines of, if anyone's ever read the top 100 things I will do if I ever become an evil overlord, and one of them is, if I eliminate everybody who is a threat to me, I will never stop and say, why am I surrounded by all these fools? That is where he is at. He is surrounded by fools. No one person could possibly take over, so he's safe. But when this guy dies, and everybody dies, unless, he's developed a way to clone himself. So, Putin 2.0, you know what? I'd be for that. Just because I'd be like, damn, I want to see where this goes. Putin clone. You've been growing him for how long?
Yeah, well, that's actually the reason why I reckon the Russian government's actually more supportive of him, because you don't get dictators that turn shitholes like that into what Russia is today, and it's still continuing too. Like, they're still building; they're not stopping. They're trying to build themselves back up to a glorious state. And good luck to them, because the way they're doing it's the correct way of doing it, and that's another reason why Putin is really popular, because he is a dictator, not officially, but he is a dictator. But he's the dictator that you want. He's looking after his people instead of looking after himself. And he's looking after his country instead of looking after his house.
I will give him that. It does look like that's what he's doing. And to be honest, if I was ever a dictator, I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to die someday. And when I die, I want people to go, My God, this is the greatest country in the world. I want to leave a monument to myself behind of how great I was by how great my people live. I think that's kind of his attitude.
This is what history's going to. This is what history's going to say about Vladimir Putin. Two Russian blokes one day were standing around. One said, "The fucking Russian politics is fucked up. Our fucking president, he's fucking drunk all the time. No one's going to be able to fix this fucking mess." Putin simply looks over and goes, "Hold my beer."
Yes, that's what I think happened. He was sitting there looking how crappy his country was. He says, "Hold my beer. I'm going to fix Russia."
Aye.
Yeah, that's what history's going to say about him.
Well, I think that's our last topic here. Is there anything else you guys want to bring up? I know you briefly wanted to touch on the spy thing, but I think it's mostly conjecture at this point.
There's a few facts and all this kind of stuff out there about it that it is really long and convoluted.
Oh, any comments from you, Jacob, before, Vardy gets into long and convoluted?
Just one.
Okay, shoot.
Just one. When Putin dies, it's all going to hell. Unless he finds someone to replace him.
Yeah,
it's all going to hell.
He needs a replacement. He needs it. He might be the man for the hour right now, but God help Russia if he drops over from an actual heart attack, not from an assassination.
No, yeah.
But anyway, go into the convoluted stuff.
No, it's really long and convoluted. Yeah, we'll be here for a few hours doing that. That's why I've been sort of shying away from.
Oh, okay. If it's several hours and you want to skip it, we can. But
no, that's a feature for itself. But yeah, no, with Putin dying and him having several circles and all this, he is a really good manager. That is absolutely clear. And he would have been running it similar to KGB type things, which means that he would have had underlings that would be able to be trusted. So if he carks it in the next 5 minutes, I'm pretty sure they'll have someone to cover him.
Really, you think there is? Because I mean, admittedly, my sources are from here in the Western, Western society, so they probably suck. But I haven't seen anybody who thinks he could step up.
You can be the best general under the sun, but if your lieutenants are fucked, then you're screwed. Simple.
It wasn't that they were incompetent. It was more along the lines that nobody liked them.
Yeah, it's probably more the lines that no one liked them because Russia's got this more of a, like where we go, oh, but they want to put a cell phone tower over there. No, not in my backyard. It's going to look ugly. Well, if that shit happens over in Russia, it's like, you want fucking cell phone service, you're getting fucking tower. You shut up and don't complain. That's how it should be done. Of course, that's going to piss people off.
I get your point. So they might actually be competent at doing the job.
Oh, yeah.
But they're just not popular.
You're going to rub someone up the wrong way doing something somewhere along the line.
And so Putin pushes all of the bad press onto everybody else, and he looks like the saint. Gotcha. Oh, it's been working for him.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, that seems like a good place to end this, and we will end on the picture of Bonaventure magic, the wonders of Bonaventure. I'm not gonna, trust me, this is relevant to at least one person, and I feel so sorry for you, man. I feel so sorry for you. But at any rate, it's been real and it's been fun, and I think it's been real fun this evening. So any final comments before we head out? I know it's only been an hour, and that's short for us, but not a lot this week to go over. Any last comments?
Nope.
Alrighty then, we're going to wrap it up here, and thanks for stopping by, and I hope everybody has a nice day. Final comments?